Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the next video to Jems 24. Now, I would like first to say that this is not the Quran. This is actually just an interpretation of the meaning of the Quran. So this is just something, it's really good to have these around the house because sometimes you might not be able to understand every single little detail or something that's in the Quran. So we have a lot of these at our house. We have this, we have tafsirs, we have other little books and stuff because it's also really awesome to get different interpretations, although you should have your own interpretation because the Quran is there for you. It's not as if whatever Mr. Kazai publication says is 100% everything is right, or 100% that's the way I need to see it, because sometimes you might read a verse and you might see it differently than somebody else sees, differently than how someone else sees it. This is why we put two sets of notes, because me and my friend, we have two completely different styles of writing, two completely different interpretations of how we see certain things. And so this is the main reason why we have two sets of notes, and of course just one video, because too many videos, too much. But yes, let me just begin. Again, I am looking for my computer, so if I do pop in there, I am sorry. um so let's begin. This is just 24. It consists of the rest of Surah Zumar, Ghafir, Fusilat. And so again, the more content, the harder it is to pinpoint little itsy bitsy running themes. But it's always important to point out some themes that are consistent throughout the Quran, which is the Day of Judgment, which is the people of the past. And so, one thing I do want to key in on before I begin is that the Day of Judgment is brought up over and over and over. And a big reason why is because when people fell astray, one thing they did forget is that they're going to be resurrected again. And so, as Muslims, we want to make sure that we don't forget this, that this isn't it. Because once you believe that this is it, you'll start making those YOLO decisions. You only live once decisions. No, I'm sorry, that's not the case. And so, that's really important to understand, because when people disbelieved, one of the things they completely just dropped out was, oh, we're going to be resurrected again. And so that's really, really, really important to make sure that we remember that this isn't it. So making those YOLO decisions are not the smartest thing to do. And so that was just something I wanted to mention. But let me begin. Who does It starts off Surah 39 verses 23 through 63. It talks about who does more wrong than the person who utters a lie against the law and denies the truth. Because you're not only doing wrong on yourself, you're doing wrong on those who you preach this injustice to, pretty much. Because not believing in a law is an injustice to yourself. So it's like oppressing yourself. You don't believe in a law, you're oppressing yourself, because believing in a law only helps you. It's not like believing in a law is gonna yield you in any way, and your disbelief is to your discord. And so and remember, is there not a hell for those who disbelieve? And is not Allah sufficient for his slaves? Whoever Allah guides, no one can misguide. And whoever Allah accept and those who accept guidance, it is only for himself, and whoever goes astray, it is only for his loss. And so that's just something really important, is that you not believing in Allah doesn't hurt Allah, it hurts you, and it's the greatest injustice to yourself. And so then it goes on, and for some reason I did not write the verses down, but it's from verses 64 to the end of Surah Zumar, Surah 39, and it talks about, do those who disbelieve want the believers to worship other than Allah? And this can be the case. Sometimes those who do disbelieve try to lead those who do believe astray. And this is why earlier, I believe in just 20, at the end, it spoke of how do not take disbelievers as supporters. And so we must remember that all creatures will be judged in truth, and all praises and thanks are due to Allah, the Lord of all. And so then Surah Ghafir begins. Hamim, the revelation of the book is from Allah, and Allah only, the Almighty, the All-Knower, the Forgiver of sin, the Acceptor of repentance, the severe in punishment, and the Bestower. La ilaha illa huwa. No one disputes with the ayahs of Allah except those who disbelieve, so do not let them deceive you not. And this was verses 40. This is Surah 40, verses 1 through 4. And then from verses 5 through 23, it talks about how Allah judges with truth, although those who they invoke judge nothing. So Allah is the only one who judges you. All these people that people have elevated to the status of a law or the status of a god, those people judge not. And so, have they not traveled the land and seen the end of those before them? They came to them messengers with the evidence, but they disbelieved and they are destroyed. Again, um, ooh, truck outside. Again, more remembrance of the people of the past. And then from verses 24 through 54, it talks about how Allah sent Moses with his ayahs to Pharaoh, Ham, and Korah, but they denied them. They denied him, and when the truth was brought to them, they killed the believers. And why did I put and Moses? This is, if you do read the notes, this is not right. Um, the truth was brought to them. They killed the believers and they tried to kill Moses. A believer from Pharaoh, this is a story again. A believer from Pharaoh questioned. He said, "Would you kill a man only because he says, 'My Lord is Allah, and he has come to them with clear signs from your Lord?'" And of course, yes, the answer is yes. But that's not to make this funny. But what that is something to point out is that they're only killing them because they said Allah was God, and that's in the sense that's idiotic. Um, but let me continue because I do not want this video to be too long. So that was verses 24 through 54. And then at the end of the surah, from verses 55 through 85, it speaks of how Allah shows you his signs and proofs and all that he's created. So which so which sign or proof do you deny? This kind of reminds me of Surah Rahman. And so have you not traveled and seen the end of those who denied before you? Their messengers came to them with clear proofs, but they were proud, and that which they mocked surrounded them. And when they saw the punishment, when they then they tried to believe in the law, but their sudden faith would not help them. And so this is, I really really like how this is situated. Allah shows the signs and proofs and all that he created. So those who mock at, oh, Allah is not the truth, the law is not that, the truth is surrounding them. So all that they mock, it's surrounding them. All it's truth and it's surrounding them, yet they mock. And so um and so on the day of judgment, these people who were like, oh, yeah, right, that's just a bunch of whatever, whatever. On the day of judgment, they're going to be like, oh, no, now we're Muslim. No, 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 we believe, we believe, we believe. But sorry, buddy, it's too late. You missed your chance out. And so, ooh, what am I doing? Now that I'm doing it on my computer, it's a little bit different and it's harder for me to see. Um, but yeah, that's just crazy. That's just crazy because it shows you that although people do disbelieve in a law, there's still that hint of, man, this might be right. Because on the day of judgment, they'll be screaming, "Oh man, no, never mind, I'm Muslim, I'm Muslim." But it's like, dude, you had like freaking 60 years to decide that. What happened then? What happened when you were mocking at all that stuff? When the signs, it's not like Allah is unmerciful. Allah is the most merciful. So the signs are surrounding us. But if you're blind to these signs, you're blind, bro. You're blind. And then on the day of judgment, trust me, you won't be blind. All of a sudden, everything that you denied will be surrounding you, and all of a sudden, it'll be making sense. But all of a sudden, you pleading to become Muslim now, it's too late. And so, that's just something I really, I don't know, I really liked it. And so then Surah Fusilat begins, and from verses Surah Fusilat has a lot of awesome, awesome, awesome stuff, but I cannot go over all this awesome stuff for the simple reason that it would take forever. Verses 41, Surah, I'm sorry I keep saying the Surah as the verse, but Surah 41 from 1 through 18 talks about who's mightier than Allah. That's like a, you know when you ask a question, but no one's supposed to answer? So if you're like, um, oh, come on, like, who could really believe that? And no one really answers. It's kind of like that. Who's mightier than Allah? Like, there's no answer. It's not like, oh, well, of course Allah is mightier than everything. No, 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 no. When this question's, it's like, who is mightier than Allah? Like, like, are you, who? Like, oh man, my dad's here. So the door open. It's kind of like a open question, like, who is mightier than Allah? And then from verses 19 through 36, Walaikum assalam, daddy. It talks about those who disbelieve, they'll taste the severe torment, and that The good deed and the evil deed are not equal. You can repel evil, takes away from that which is better. And if an evil whisper from Satan tries to turn you away, seek refuge with the law. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That's verses 19 through 36. And then from verses 37 through 46, it talks about, is being cast in the hellfire better than being secure on the day of judgment? This is why I love this story, because it has a lot of questions. Again, not a thinkable question. Come on. Fire? Whatever you want. Fire? Whatever you, it's not even a question. Is being thrown into a hot boiling fire, your skin getting burned off and then put back on, then burned off, then put back on, then burned off, then put back on, greater than going somewhere that's extremely beautiful with extremely beautiful people and getting whatever you want, like a chocolate river? Does that even, well, I don't want a chocolate river, but still, like a chocolate river. Is that even equal? Imagine cool, crisp water, honey, oh, everything in green, gold, yummy, yummy, compared to eating. There's people in the hellfire, they're going to be eating like the pus of the wounds. Does that make sense? It's like, you know, like when you burn something, all that pus comes out. They'll be drinking the pus of the wounds. Let me think. Honey, pus. Honey, pus. I take the honey. But even if you don't like honey, ask for chocolate milk or something. But let me go on. And this is not something to joke around. I do like to joke around because that's the tone that's in my mind. Again, remember we're talking about interpretations. That's the tone that's in my mind. Hell or day of judgment? Like, are you being serious? That's the way I see it. And so and so it goes on to say that nothing is said to Muhammad that wasn't said to the prophets before him. So Muhammad is not bringing something new. It's not like, oh, bam, Allah is God. No, it's the same that Abraham, Moses, Lut, all of them brought. And that's why these prophets are mentioned over and over and over and over. So we don't forget that it's not like Muhammad was bringing some brand new revelation. Well, of course, the Quran was new in the sense that it was the next thing on, but he wasn't bringing anything new. It's not like, oh, now Allah is God. Oh, now you have to believe in Allah. No, it's something that every prophet brought. And so whoever does a good deed, again, it's for his own self, and whoever does evil, it's against his own self. And of course, Allah is not unjust to his slaves. And um, then it's the end of this juz, thank God. From verses 47 through 51, it talks about how nothing occurs without Allah's knowledge, and on the day of judgment, they will be asked, where are your partners? Again, one of these questions. Hey, where are all those people you used to worship? And then let me just go on. This isn't in this surah, but still, I believe we went over this earlier. I believe so. Because Jesus is going to be a witness against these people. Hey, remember Jesus, the guy you used to worship? Where's he at? So it's kind of like, hey, what happened to those people you used to worship? And everything that they invoked will fail them. And so there's the answer to your question. Of course, it's not a direct answer, but all those people, remember all those people that you thought were God? Where were they today? Oh, wait, they're going to fail you. And so this is just something to look at. And of course, I'm speaking in a very sarcastic tone, but this is the way I see it. Um, and man does not get tired of asking good from Allah. But if evil touches him, he gives up all hope and is lost in despair. I'm sorry, my voice is running out all of a sudden, and I sound like I just blowed a balloon, but that's not the case. And so, of course, man loves asking for good. Hey, Allah, give me that BMW. Allah, please, please, I need to graduate from med school. Oh, Allah, please, 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 make me a nurse. Oh, Allah, oh, Allah, oh, Allah, oh, Allah. But all of a sudden, when your bank account is a little bit lower, or you get sick, like myself, you get sick or something random hits you, oh, watch out. I don't know if I should make dua to Allah anymore. It's kind of like, what the heck? It's like all of a sudden something hits you and you just give up all hope. Oh no, I don't know if the religion, if this is right. Man, why is Allah hurting me? Come on. And if Allah were to give him, and then, of course, if Allah were to give you some mercy after this has already happened to you, you claim it for yourself. And so then, oh, something hits you hard, and then Allah gives you something like, oh, let's say you're doing really bad in school, you pray to do better in school, and then all of a sudden you do better. It's like, oh, this is for me. I did this, I did this, I did this. And of course, Again, Allah talks about, and then you forget the day of judgment. So once you forget Allah, once you forget what Allah has provided for you, then you'll forget the day of judgment. It's like the next thing on. You forget Allah, you forget everything He's done for you, become ungrateful, then you forget the day of judgment. You forget that this is not it. You forget that there's something after this. And so when Allah shows a favor to a man, he withdraws and turns away. But when evil touches him, he makes long supplication. So this is the opposite. When good hip sorry, that was my computer, it's about to die. And when Allah shows a favor to man, he withdraws. So Allah gives you that big business you always wanted, and all of a sudden you just forget about Allah. But then when something evil hurts you, all of a sudden you turn to Allah. So that's why sometimes people are tested in order that they come back to Allah. I do have a friend, same thing. She felt like when she was tested, that's the only reason why she completely came back to Allah. And so it's very interesting that there's both sides to it. But this is the end of this juz, alhamdulillah, and inshallah, the rest of the series will be up. We do apologize that the series wasn't up during Ramadan. Um, it was just really hard having to write it, then type it, then read it in the different language. You know what I mean? Read it in Arabic, read it in English, write it, and then type it, and then also try to do other things that we wanted to do during Ramadan. But I do hope that these videos do help. If they do, share them. I hope I wasn't in this video too much because I'm noticing that I do lean forward a lot and I really do not want people to see me. That's awkward. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day, evening, afternoon. Beep, beep, beep. Sound like 'em.